welcome to Pink Pearl Tarot. I'm Eleanor, and today's Pick a Card Tarot reading is asking how we can find the middle path, because a lot of times these card readings will come out and talking about saying yes to both, that the answer isn't either or, but somehow to combine two things. And that can sometimes not make sense, how to combine these different elements. And so that's what I've asked for guidance on today. It's inspired by the Temperance card. Now, the Mary L tarot that I'm using is such a weighty and spiritual deck, so I'm going to kind of save the cute the affirmator, the funny affirmation until the end to lighten things up to close. So we have forces of nature, driving forces, go to the light, and they are timestamped below. Let's get right to it. All right, stack one. I have my stones kind of handy here because the stack has some pretty, let's see, there you have forces of nature. Some of these cards are inappropriate. Okay, this one's okay. You have the Ace of Swords. You have the Six of Swords. And you have the Fool. Oh my. Yes. Okay, and then we'll save the affirmation for the end. Okay, so this is talking about laying down the fight against your nature and instead working with it. The path leads inward, not outward. Like, think more vertically aligned than side to side. Like, I don't know if this is true for you, but when I think middle path, I think of like a stream going between two lands. I think of a tightrope, like between extremes on either side of me. But this is pointing to a middle path between earth and heaven, the middle path between ground and sky, mundane and divine. And your path marries the two, above and below. So it's not telling you to balance two things, but to bring something into you, to absorb and infuse yourself with the sacred, to see yourself in every act as sacred. Watering your plants, walking the dog, doing the dishes, all it takes is to do these things with intention and presence. It's to actually be in your skin, not checked out. And the middle path means that you're reintegrating into your own life. I don't know, that sounds kind of weird, but like the missing ingredient isn't divinity, it's you. You are the divinity. And they're inviting you to stop trying to escape, because you can't. Anywhere you go, there you are. You take you with you, right? So you can't run away from yourself. And so you might as well try to rebuild that relationship. You have magic in you that you don't have to travel or to leave home to discover. There's no truth out there that doesn't already live in you. And they're saying to bring your attention from far and wide to above and below, your route to crown. Like, think of the Fool's journey not as something that takes you out into the unknown, but into the unknown. And the dissonance may have come from trying to pull one way or the other, like attempting to transcend the physical and be enlightened or whatever, or the opposite, being over-identified with the things of the world and becoming disconnected from your tether to the unseen world. They just want you to hook these things together again. And it's not something that you have to do so much as let happen. Your nature, who you were at birth, knew this then, and it still knows it on some level now. And we're taught the separation. There's an unlearning that has to happen here. And a need to free yourself from some kind of like zombification, to free your mind into a more conscious wielding of your free will. There's also a loneliness that this path can lead you out of, a healing that can happen when the aspects of yourself are in dialogue through either prayer, meditation, or just mindful action. Something that brings your body and soul to meet at the table. And a final note before I look at the affirmator, you can't get this wrong. Like, a tree can't tree wrong. A butterfly can't butterfly wrong. And you can't human wrong. So don't let that concept keep you from withholding this birthright from yourself. So your affirmator, you have joy. To enjoy something, I simply need to add joy to it. Joy is like butter. I can put it on anything and it'll make it way better. Today, I will add joy to everything. Really slather it on. Today, I am the Orville Redenbacher of joy, and life's popcorn is about to get it. All right, stack one. I hope that made some sense. It might take some time to sit with that. Thank you, and I will talk to you next time. All right, stack two with driving forces. I have stones already handy because I'm pretty sure that this deck, not everyone is appropriate. Okay, you have the Ten of Cups reversed. That one's okay. Ace of Discs needs to have some clothes on. We'll put those right there. Never know with YouTube, you know. And then you have the Four of Wands reversed. Ten of Cups reversed, Ace of Discs reversed, Four of Wands reversed. Okay, and we'll save the affirmation for the end. Ooh. All right, stack 2. So this reading was inspired by the Temperance card, the combining of energies to create synergy and alchemy. Originally, I was asking what 2 things we need to marry in our life in order to pave this middle path, but this is so much more than that. This is a path through chaos. It's not combining 2 elements, but taking the chaotic cloud of sheared wool and just spinning it into a cohesive yarn. You are a chaos magician, whether you know it or not. Driving forces is all about goals and timing, and how the inner compass we all carry isn't just pointing us in a direction, but it's multidimensional, and it points us in the dimension of time as well as space. So you don't just pick a goal, you pick a win, and it isn't always right now, unfortunately, for those of us living in the world of always promising instant gratification. And side note on this, rigidity and digging in, that's going to twist you up like when a bra gets stuck in the washer agitator. You know how that becomes a whole tangled mess. Anyway, yeah, like I don't even see specific energies to combine. It is literally everything. So it's more instructing you how to spin the yarn out of the chaos that is just surrounding you. The first thing I see is time landmarks and the honoring of cycles. Concrete ones that you can reliably anchor to, like moon cycles, daily cycles, annual cycles, Sabbath days, that sort of thing. And right now there's just no real organization, or at least not one that's yet really worked for you, because it's been dictated by external forces like culture or society or whatever. It's like, do you ever just like realize like, oh crap, Christmas is coming up, I almost forgot. Oh my god, my birthday, what? Like, oh yeah, like your mom reminds you it's a holiday and you're like, oh yeah. Anyway, and if you miss one, let it go, or else the anxiety or like the reach back or doing it late just to do it, it creates more chaos. So I don't even know what it is, whatever it is that you do to acknowledge liminal time. And also travel light, whatever that looks like for you. It's like reducing clutter or time consuming but unnecessary habits. The accumulation of tasks due to procrastination, so that your day off has become your junk drawer of to-dos. So it's never truly a day off. It's like, do you have a place where you stash all of your to-dos you don't want to get to, like on Saturday or Sunday, and then that day is never really satisfying? But prepare for it to be hard, because if it were easy, you would have done it already, right? This type of accumulation, it's so easy to do, but it makes everything else harder, which makes us, of course, seek more easy, hence the chaos knot, like with the bra strap and the washer agitator. It's just a cycle. So the Ten of Cups in this deck, it carries the reminder to live every day, because tomorrow is not promised. The shitty parts of life are just as temporary as life itself, and there is literally no reward for withholding happiness from yourself every day until such a false thing as everything being perfect. And this doesn't mean to blow all your money or to go into debt. If your idea of happiness requires spending money, you are invited to rethink that. So it's more pointing to that rigidity and attachment I talked about at the beginning. Matter has assembled itself as you for a set amount of time, and then it will be returned to chaos. And so this says, enjoy the ride. There's this like stratified life presented to us, at least Gen X anyway. Maybe younger people are kind of getting hip to it, but you go to school, you get married / work, and then you retire / enjoy your life. And they're wanting you to consider making it more like a carbonated beverage. Work, play, plan, rest, celebrate, cocoon, continuously on a shorter recurring cycle, because something has gotten too heavy and bogged down here. There's something of an ungrounded wire or a lightning rod that we need to channel the chaotic fiery energy through. And it's like you're working twice as hard as everyone else just to fight this energy, and then not achieving as much because you couldn't ground it and direct it. But at the same time, being trapped in the body and wanting to transcend it. So how can these things leap forward towards each other and meld in the middle? Again, try this metaphor of the spinning wheel and dotting your life with more landmarks. Weave joy in, weave joy in instead of keeping it stratified, kept at bay until an ever receding perfect time. It's funny because with procrastination on the difficult things, it's pushed back even further. It piles up more and more between you and your goal, more and more prep work before you can even start the real work. So they want you to stop putting off both and then dive headfirst into the chaos, basically, and find what works for you and only for you. And so let's see what your affirmation is. You have ups and downs. I see life as an incredible ride, and I'm lucky to be on it. Yes, the ups and downs make me want to puke sometimes, but they're also what makes things fun and interesting. And when you look back, even puking on yourself makes for a good story. All right, stack 2. I hope that makes some sense, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you. All right, stack 3. You chose go to the light. I have stones standing by because this deck has some unclothed characters in it. So we have the Page of Discs reversed. That one's okay. We have the Page of Wands reversed. Beautiful. And then, oh yes, I knew there was something in here like that. Ace of Wands. And we're going to just do that. Because you never know with YouTube. And we'll set your affirmation right here, and we'll look at that at the end. So the middle path for you, it takes you to a singular goal, and that means connecting to your why and somehow completely extricating your desires from what society has told you you're supposed to want or achieve. I see right here a struggle to motivate and to maintain any sort of self-discipline because of lack of something called a competing interest. I just saw a Dr. K Healthy Gamer video on this actually, but it was more for the purpose of overcoming video game addiction, which is not necessarily what's going on here, but a competing interest is something that you truly, deeply care about, something that you want more than whatever you do to cope with life. And no one else, not culture, not society, can give that to you. So these 2 pages in reverse, they indicate resistance to initiate change, to initiate a journey, or initiate much of anything, because there just doesn't seem to be a goal that excites you enough. And threat of something negative or unpleasant, that's not going to be enough either. So this does not have to be a big, grand goal either, and it doesn't have to be selfless or have any consideration whatsoever to the outside world. Your why is your why. Anyway, this reading, it was inspired by the Temperance card, which is to find out what elements of your life need to be married to walk a more central or unified path. But the way they came out here, instead of really saying what to combine, it's more how to create a beacon or a radio tower to call in everything that you need to bring to the table in order to move forward. I mean, it sort of does. The Page of Discs reversed, that indicates not really knowing how to initiate change, like what fuel, where, what are the motions, what am I working with? And the Page of Wands reversed like this, it shows not having the will behind initiating something. There's just not a what for, at least not yet. Now, none of the what fors offered by the world have lit you up or resonated with your soul. So, like, why bust my ass to earn the right to do what I want later when I can not do that, when I can do what I want now, right? The Ace of Wands, this is the light they're saying to go to over here. And I feel like you doubt your skills, or you feel like they're irrelevant, they're unmonetizable, non-lucrative. And because of that, you've dismissed them as not having value, and it just isn't true. It's something here about ikigai. Ikigai, is that the Japanese word? But the part to remove from their little structure is the what does the world need question. The world needs you as you are. And they're just trying to get you started. And that can come later. I don't know. Maybe I'm on the wrong track with that. You can't really say half a concept. But it's something to look into if it interests you. It's about a Japanese philosophy of finding your purpose. But either way, the self-doubt coming off of these cards, these 2 right here, is just suffocating. And I'm sorry, you guys, the what is coming through very clear, but the how really isn't. All I can see is that nothing is going to reward you more than temporary distraction and complacency until you can connect with that dharma or that competing interest, your why, your raison d'etre, as they say. And it's nothing the world has offered you Not promotions, not money, not status. It's something else entirely, and you need faith in that. There's a definite focus on skills that you think you need but are lacking, but your why utilizes your innate inborn talents and skills. So initiating action is the first step to developing those skills. You don't have to develop them first. It's using them that develops them. So don't overthink it. Your very first impulse is it, or at least the clue to it. So maybe the reason I'm not getting it is because it is so personal and divinely gifted. It's not for me to tell you, especially a general reading like this with so many people watching. I cannot bestow it and really shouldn't try. So let's just get to your affirmation. You have clarity. Stopping to listen to my inner self, I can easily separate my intuition from my mental chatter. The clarity of my intuition is a sweet, simple fruit that tastes familiar, and the mental chatter is confusing. A confusing, bitter rind that I shall peel off and chuck into the garbage or compost heap if your mental chatter happens to be organic. All right, stack 3. I hope you can find what you're looking for. I hope this at least makes some sense and sets you on the right track, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you.